Hi everyone, welcome to our November flipped staff meeting. We are going to get together in person next Friday, November 9th, to celebrate one another with our kudos and to receive testing information and training with Dr. Person. We're going to go through our November 8th conference schedule, the November 9th PD schedule, talk about November 13th American Education Week event. I have some redistricting news. I also want to talk about the health and wellness policy and recess, our progress reports, and our chat areas of focus for the 2018-2019 school year. I also wanted to touch briefly on our electronic discipline system. Okay, so the week of November 5th. On November 8th, our work hours are 8 to 3:30. Please turn in your conference schedules if you haven't already. I know my schedule is filling up with some conferences that I've been requested to attend. Thank you for reaching out. On November 9th, our work hours are 8 to 3:30. From 9 to 11, we are going to meet in the auditorium in the big building, and we're going to receive training and professional development in trauma and resiliency. 11:30 to 12:30 is going to be our lunch break. From 12:30 to 1:15, we're going to have an in-person staff meeting where Dr. Person is going to go through some state testing training and information. 1:15 to 1:30, the union will have a meeting with staff. From 1:30 to 2:30, Jill and Angie are going to kind of dive deeper into grading practices and instruction. We are also going to give you a little bit of time to work on your progress reports, to either review them, get started on them, or just kind of prepare yourselves to get started on those. All right, the next week we do not have school on November 12th, that's Veterans Day, but on November 13th, we are going to welcome about 20 community members at Rehoboth Elementary. I am asking for 8 student leaders, 4 from 4th grade and 4 from 5th grade, to be guides or tour guides for our guests. The tour guides will take our guests through the big and little building, and I want to show off all the amazing things that are happening in our classrooms. This is going to occur from 9:30 to 10:30. I will be doing a brief presentation and welcome to our community members. The walkthrough in the classrooms will be about 30 minutes, and then our guests will be leaving around 10:30. So it's a pretty quick morning. From the board meeting last week, I do have several updates. It's important that everybody know that the school board is in the beginning stages of redrawing the lines between Love Creek and Rehoboth. So we can anticipate that we'll grow by approximately 120 students next year, which is pretty exciting. We will also have consortium classrooms in our new building next year. The health and wellness policy has been on the agenda the past few board meetings, and at the last board meeting, the plan for health and wellness was reviewed, and we are committed as a district to the 300 minutes of movement a week. I know that we are meeting that and going beyond in most cases, and I wanted to thank you for your attention to this and to keep things moving at Rehoboth Elementary. I really appreciate it. The plan also emphasizes that all students have recess every day. We've talked about this several times, but I just wanted to remind everybody that recess can only be altered with prior administrative approval, and students should only miss recess if it's for safety concerns that have happened at recess or related events that have occurred surrounding recess. So we really have to communicate about why and if we are going to be using recess as a response to behaviors. Okay, progress reports. I know that's on everybody's mind. I am going to email you the actual slideshow as well as this link, of course, so that you can look at some of the documents that I have attached here. Things that I want you to remember, these are the big important pieces for progress reports. Think summative. I can't say that enough. You've got to think summatively. If you look to the right of this slide, you'll notice that Jill has kind of taken the units in grade 3 math and divided them into what are summative assignments or summative activities and what could be considered formative. So we're going to be basing our 1 through 4 numbers on the summative aspect of our instruction. There are not going to be any more canned comments for every competency. So in your free text comments, please try to include 2 glows and a grow. These glows and grows can be taken right from School Pace, right from Bridges, specific information from Science and Social Studies should be added there. There is a 500 character limit, so be thinking about how you are going to use the free text comment. We also have grading documents, guidance documents for ELA and for math with a marking period targets, and some of that information is here. If you feel like you're missing any of that information or need guidance in where to get this information, please, please, please reach out. There's lots of resources out there, and we want to make sure that you feel comfortable and have everything that you need moving forward. Okay, last week our school chat team attended the district chat meeting, and we were charged with focusing on 5 areas for our school year. These 5 areas are feedback tied to standards, supporting claims with evidence, and then academic vocabulary, small group instruction, and mathematical practices. We came up with some action steps to target these areas of focus, and they are really concentrated in our PLCs and our collaborative approach to best practice. So we want to make sure that we're reviewing data at PLCs, that we are constantly looking at the why behind our lessons, and that our feedback is always tied to standards. For action steps, for the 5 areas of focus for numbers 2 and 4, ongoing PLC dialogue again is important, and really with a focus around small group instruction, not only for our tiered students, but what does smallest group instruction look like for tier 1 instruction? Supporting claims with evidence as a focus fits nicely into that small group instruction piece. We would like to see teachers kind of come out of your comfort zones and maybe record on your own a lesson and then reflect on your small group instruction using the PDSA organizer, and then sharing that organizer or your thoughts, your reflections after your lesson with your PLC groups, with your grade level teams. Or teachers can actually record a small group lesson and then share that actual video if you're feeling comfortable enough to do that, and show us how you are using small groups in your classrooms. Academic vocabulary is going to be a focus at our January staff meeting, where this is really broad. We want to think about that preview of academic vocabulary, not only for our Tier 1 students, but also for our Tier 2 and Tier 3, our EL and our special education students. This is going to be kind of spread between our January staff meeting and our February staff meeting. The flipped staff meetings that I'm doing in this format are really intended to allow us to utilize our monthly in-person meetings for professional development and growth in our practices. We also felt it important to make mathematical practices an area of focus. ELA has been at the forefront of our discussions for several years, it feels like. So mathematical practices, which are embedded in the Bridges and Number Corner lessons, just seems like a natural focus for us. So at PLCs, we're going to make sure that we are kind of digging deeper into Number Corner and really looking at pre and post assessments and the Number Corner lessons to define where the mathematical practices are embedded. Electronic discipline. Thank you so much for using the electronic discipline platform. There have been some questions as we have navigated this system, but overall it's working well. One of the things I wanted to kind of challenge people to start using is in data service, iTracker Pro has a section where you can add kind of anecdotal notes about students. You can see I took screenshots to kind of walk you through where you would go to iTracker Pro first. When you scroll down the screen at number 2 here, you have the ability to add a note. From a drop-down menu, you can determine the topic or kind of the main idea of what your note is going to be about. And then in number 4, you can see the box where you can actually describe what has happened. This is a great place to put your parent conversations, any conversations you've had with a student specific to academic or behavior. You can click the box at the bottom there that says academic attendance or behavior. It's just a great way to document. So try to use that if you can. All right, our last piece of information here, the one more thing, is about social media. I am on Twitter for professional reasons. I get lots of great ideas from Twitter. I'm hoping that more and more people are joining. Unfortunately, I don't have many followers that are parents or stakeholders in our community or families that are following to see all the things that I'm posting with the hashtag RES Proud. So I am considering a Facebook page for Rehoboth Elementary and or an Instagram page. I am looking for help if anybody is interested. Currently, I don't have a Facebook page, and I just would like to get everyone's thoughts on how to show everyone what we're doing. There are many schools that have Facebook pages, which really is probably the most popular social media account that families have. But please just be thinking about this. Let me know what and if you're willing to maybe help out, be an administrator on those sites to help with our branding of our wonderful school. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, please email, stop by, let us know how things are going, and if you need to talk about anything that was mentioned in this slideshow. Thanks, everybody.